Hey, this is Todd. So we did a deeper dive into our first strategy for blending AI tools and the human touch. And I talked about how we create case studies, early wins, and snippets. But where do these stories and snippets and stuff fit into our hourglass framework? And what AI tools do we actually use to make them happen? So basically, I'm going to show you how to map them and how to make them. So let's do it. So just as a reminder, here's our hourglass framework. Remember, we've got aware, we then got care, compare, sign right there, where, and share. So first, let's map out our case studies on this customer journey. They're used throughout the top entire half of the hourglass. Customers engage and share their case studies on social media, and that's just making people aware of the Snowball brand. And those that care about what we do visit our website. They see these case studies just sprinkled throughout their entire journey. And most importantly, our sales team will use these case studies in the compare stage to show how our results are better than anything else that people are comparing us with. Next, how about early wins? These impact two stages, the very top of the hourglass, as our new customers engage and share early wins on their social media. Additionally, it impacts the customers right after purchase. So they're wearing, metaphorically, our brand on their social media feeds and sharing it with others. Now let's finish with snippets. These quotes humanize all of our content that shows up in search engines and draws people into the aware stage. And it helps them to really care what we do and sign up for our marketing newsletter. So definitely it's at the aware stage. So that's how these all play out over our marketing strategy. Now let's take a closer look and talk about AI for a few minutes. So we use AI tools to do one of two things: to either automate a task or process, or to augment our creativity. AI doesn't create our marketing, we do, but AI is just really good at these two things: automating and augmenting. So here's some of the tools that help us, and there's 5 of them. First, Squadcast. Our podcasts and case study recordings are all recorded on Squadcast. It doesn't use much AI, but it's really easy to use and super dependable and syncs nicely with our second tool. So I thought I'd mention it here. Number 2 is Descript. It's super powerful. This is our video editing software. One of the main reasons I love it is because it has this AI assistant that's called Underlord. First of all, I just freaking love that name. But it does a lot for us. It creates transcripts, fixes eye contact, enhances stereo sound, detects active speaker, removes filler words, and can even insert background music from its library. And the text-based timeline editing is really slick. It's rolling out new AI features all the time, and as I try them, I'll check in here and let you know what I think of them. The ones I use the most, though, right now, all the time, are the detect active speakers, the remove filler words, eye contact, and stereo sound. But note, with eye contact and stereo sound, use these two with care. If you just crank them up and then export your video, you're going to be surprised with some real funky voices and eye contact that's just going to freak you out. So play with the settings and try to get them just right. In fact, I've published a few videos and then I've had to pull them back later because our guest eyes look all googly and weird and kind of something from a horror film. So watch out. Number 3 is a big one. It's ChatGPT 4.0. This is a tool everyone knows about, and we use it a lot for brainstorming, interview questions, creating first drafts of blog articles, generating LinkedIn or YouTube titles and descriptions, and content for case study write-ups. If you've never used ChatGPT, jump in right now. Like literally stop this and go in and start using it. Just jump in and start asking it questions. And if you don't know what questions to ask, simply ask it this question: how do I use ChatGPT for content creation? It's just going to give you a ton of ideas right there. So basically, you can use ChatGPT to learn how to use ChatGPT. So, and here's just a production tip for those that want to create content, but they don't have a lot of time and they have a commute. So download the ChatGPT app on your phone. Then while you're driving, it actually has an audio mode. So ask it to help you write your next thought leadership piece. I literally did this with the article that's the basis of my first video in this series. I said, I want to write an article about using AI tools and human stories for other marketers. And we talked back and forth for the next 30 minutes while I drove. and I'd give it examples of things I wanted it to include in the article, and go look at my first video. They're the exact same examples that were there. And then I would ask it to read everything back to me. So after about 4 or 5 times of this back and forth, I had a legit draft of my article. The next day, I just added a few Todd-like tweaks and phrases, and this thing was ready to go. And since then, I've used this approach for all of my notes for these videos. So I basically use my commute now to create all of this extra video content, something I never would have been able to do before. So seriously, you got to check this out. So number 4 is the Valley tool. This one's interesting. We're testing this tool for LinkedIn outreach, and it basically uses AI to skim through your prospect's LinkedIn profile and posts, and then it'll craft a personalized message that's really tailored for them. And it may reference an article or something, an insight that they shared on LinkedIn. And then it'll send out a connection request. It'll share resources that we have. It'll share these case studies, and it'll invite them to engage. So far, it's really promising. We've had several constructive conversations and demos for the Snowball platform. I'm going to get into this in a lot more detail later. All right, finally, the 5th tool we use for case studies is OpusClip. This one saves us a ton of time. We basically upload a video interview into the platform. It then generates 5 to 10 clips with our branding and animated captions, complete with AI-generated stock footage or images. And these clips are then used on LinkedIn or YouTube. So at Snowball, we use case studies, early wins, and snippets to infuse at every touch point the voice of our customers and our partners. We leverage these 5 AI tools I just mentioned throughout the entire process. And next time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and walk you through that last one I introduced, OpusClip, because this has had a huge impact on our workflows. And I'll show you how we automatically generate and edit these short videos. And this is something we just use like crazy. So I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions about how we implement any of these strategies, or if you have any ideas for other tools that we can use. I'd just love to hear from you. That's it. Thanks. And I'll see you soon.